Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. This article comes to you guys from RCR Wireless. I'll leave a link to it in the description so you guys can check it out. So T-Mobile had a record-breaking third quarter as it pertains to customer growth. And that, plus a multitude of other reasons, caused T-Mobile to raise CapEx. And some of you that have been a part of the channel that follow the industry for a long time now, some of you might think T-Mobile should have raised CapEx because of growth a long time ago. But T-Mobile stayed disciplined, but they didn't raise CapEx out of the guidance, right? The guidance window was 9 to 10 billion. They just took it to the 10 billion. But what I wanted to tie into this video as well, with all the success that T-Mobile currently enjoys and the future, not short-sighted, but the future in regards to more and higher bandwidth channels that are going to be a part of the network in the future as we head into 6G. As millimeter wave gets deployed where it makes sense more broadly, T-Mobile is going to attempt to do that. And then at some point, we're going to get the upper C-band auction, and then T-Mobile currently across 225 million pops owns the C-band channels. When does it make sense for T-Mobile to invest, which is going to require higher CapEx, to invest into owning and operating its fiber to the cell? I feel like that gets lost within the industry as we get the Q&As from the analysts. When is it the right time for T-Mobile to do that? They have to at some point. Yes, today T-Mobile is an all leased fiber shop. They are 100% leased. They do not own a strand of fiber going to its cell sites across like 98, 99% of the network. And then there is, I think I remember 1 to 2% that's sitting on either microwave or satellite backhaul. Very, very small percentage. But when is it the right time to move over and invest, which is most definitely going to require a higher CapEx, way outside of the range that T-Mobile is guiding today? Because at some point it's going to get very expensive. If we're talking dark fiber, if T-Mobile wants to get into that space, that's going to be more expensive. In some of the areas today, literally in the areas today that T-Mobile is leasing some of the third-party fiber, where in the future there's going to be more bandwidth added to the sites, that third party that's providing the fiber may not have the backhaul available to supply T-Mobile with the speed or the backhaul that they may be requiring. So they're going to have to invest to upgrade their back end, their systems, and then T-Mobile's going to have to pay for that. And then T-Mobile's going to have to pay for more to get to be supplied with that higher backhaul. And yes, I get it. It's very intense competitively in those bigger markets where there's multiple fiber players. Even AT&T and Verizon compete in that area too. T-Mobile gets good rates. According to T-Mobile, for fiber today, the cost of fiber today used to be the cost of like four T1s. So I understand that. But now you're moving in to that next space, that next round of bandwidth increase. You're talking, I think I saw recently T-Mobile is testing 6G spectrum in labs, and they're doing 10 gigs on the downlink. Not backhaul 10 gigs. No, they're actually producing 10 gig speeds on the backhaul. I don't know what backhaul speeds need to be to achieve that 10 gigs. Is it 20 gigs? Is it 25 gigs? Regardless of what it is, it's going to cost T-Mobile more. So at what point, at what juncture do the owner's economics play a big factor here? They didn't really play a huge factor during LTE, and T-Mobile made that very clear. And we kind of saw that in the market. It wasn't really like a huge deal. Even Spectrum and some of the other providers were able to provide the speeds, or the backhaul, I should say, that the carriers required, or the bandwidth that they had. But this next round of bandwidth, like 6 gigahertz, 7 gigahertz, upper C-band, millimeter wave, you're gonna need very, very high capacitive fiber running to the networks. You're gonna need dark fiber. T-Mobile disclosed a few years back, I can't remember, they did say, I think it was Neville Ray that chimed in at one of the Q&As, and he said we're running some dark fiber at that time, but it was a very, very small percentage. I don't even think it was 1% of the sites had dark fiber. But that's going to have to scale. You got to keep up with the competition across the board. Verizon and AT&T today own a lot of their fiber to the cell. There's still some more work to do for Verizon in that department, but they're investing in that. There's more MCI One fiber going to cells. Even for me, I'm still seeing those permits. If I remember correctly, AT&T is about 75% fiber to its cell sites owned and operated. So there's roughly around, what is it, like 25% or so that's third party. So that's leverage. That's leverage that they have. They can just quickly raise their own backhaul. T-Mobile, in some cases, yes, they're getting good deal, good rates. They're working with partners that can adequately increase the backhaul pretty much on demand, as they're called. But that's going to eventually run thin with this upping of bandwidth channels. And I think eventually, when is the time for T-Mobile to own and operate its own fiber to the cell? When is the right time to make that investment? Because they are behind on it. So that's clear. But how long does that take, right? For one, T-Mobile literally 0% today. 0, not 10. They don't have 20, 30% ownership in fiber to the cell. They don't own any of it. So they're starting from 0. So to even get to 50% of cell sites running with its owned and operated fiber, I don't even know if that's an achievable number today. If that's even realistic, it might be impossible. I don't know, but just some thoughts that I wanted to give you guys for the longer term picture as T-Mobile continues to set these growth records. What does that look like in the future for T-Mobile as the channel sizes continue to increase? Could T-Mobile be at a point where they simply lose a speed lead because competitors have access to higher fiber backhaul? Is that a possibility? It's also easier when a few years ago T-Mobile said under Neville Ray that building out ODAS and small cells is nightmarish. It's a headache. But it's a lot easier for AT&T because they own and operate everything. So in the neighborhoods where they have the fiber strand already there, it's easier to hook up to small cells. Same for Verizon. It's much easier to hook up to small cells. For T-Mobile, they have to get a third party into the neighborhood. That third party has to lay its own fiber. It's more of a headache than anything. So that's where T-Mobile's coming from. But if they started to own and operate and invest a little more, it should be a lot better. But when is the right time for them to do that? I just don't know. And how long would that even take them, right? So just some thoughts I wanted to put in this video. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know you think it's smarter for T-Mobile to own and operate fiber to the cell, or will they still get better rates just doing the leasing model because they lease practically all of their cell sites are leased fiber backhaul. Let me know your thoughts. Like, share, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.